We're just get right into it today. So, because it's just on the top of my mind, I it's about dating because it's tough, but it's like I feel like I'm getting bogged down by all this negativity. Like I feel like if there wasn't all this negativity, I don't know if I would feel supported, like less supported, because like it's nice to know that it's not just me. You know, if everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting all the success on dating apps," yeah, what's your problem? No, it's like it's a societal thing apparently. So that's fair enough. But here's the thing. It's easy to say like guys aren't approaching girls anymore, and it's easy to be like it's also easy to be like, well, that's the women's fault because their expectations are too high and they reject you. But I had this thought, if I can remember it, it was on the top of my head. And it made sense. It was something along the lines of like, I'm not saying like it's not somewhat the fault of the women who just kind of expect too much. But when you're a guy and you're like, ugh, like, it's because they reject you, isn't that being like kind of hypocritical? Like, because the women are also, they're like being really weak, and it's like, I don't know, it's just both sides. And so I had this realization that like the incels and the lonely gals, they they're kind of a good match, you know? It's interesting. Very. I had something else I was gonna say too about that. I forgot. Probably should write shit down, huh? Yeah. So I've just been down about like I've been um trying to every week or whatever. I'll try and like maybe every month or something. I'll try to up my profile cred. So I like literally put on a fucking suit and took a picture of myself, kind of just looking cool. Didn't work. You can put the cleverest shit in your bio. Doesn't work. I consider myself to be like between a 6 and a 7 out of 10, and you think that I would get something? Nothing. Okay, when I say nothing, like I just mean like yeah, it's not much. It's negligible because they don't reply. And I'll admit, like I have gotten replies very rarely, and I've kind of changed my mind on them. So I'm not perfect, you know. I'm not saying it. See, I'm not saying like, oh, it's all the women's fault. Like I've had opportunities to potentially continue, but now that I say that, some of them are just ridiculous. Like there's this one girl. She just was like, she was just getting right in with those questions of like, what do you do for a living? Like it was just like, you're not ready for this. I think the one thing I was gonna say kind of is a little bit of a deviation from what I was just saying from just now. But I ran into a profile today of a woman who said, okay, the prompt was a non-negotiable for me. So then below you write what the prompt. That's the prompt. Whatever my non-negotiable is, and she said princess treatment, which means it's not only is it like it's okay to say like I like to be spoiled, but to say that it's a non-negotiable, like you won't accept anything less than princess treatment. That is that is insane. That is almost insane. That is delusional. Like wow, wow. Like that says that women, a lot of women, they do think they're so special that they deserve to be treated like a princess. and men are just, it makes sense. It makes sense. The logical thing would be like, oh, men are just their fucking servants. It's hard not to get red pill and incel when it comes to that. That's very unfortunate because we should be able to have this conversation, without just being canceled. I've already been canceled because I get 0 views, but you know, maybe someday I'll be a voice of reason, which would be awesome. Because part of the whole thing is breaking the stereotypes. When you break a stereotype, people go, "Oh shit, the world is not what I thought it was. This person is different." Like people need to exist, and they need to live and be out there to prove to people that it's not just stereotype. Not just a mass of stereotypes walking around. It's hard. I mean, it's impossible not to feel that way in some ways. Like I've heard even my favorite YouTubers say like that most people just don't think, and I guess that's true. But it's like I feel like a lot of people might think, in some ways. Maybe they're not thinkers, but they do think. Scrambled jingle bongus. Oh no 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 no. I'm just kind of wondering what when the line is drawn for people between what is red pill and what is blue pill. What's the opposite of that? Blue pill? It's just what the one takeaway though is that people it's not as simple as it seems. That's an unfortunate thing to have to keep saying. Like that it sucks because you need like something that's not redundant, and after a while it's like, okay, I get it. You kind of get to a point where like, you can't keep saying the same shit over and over in your head because it's just gonna turn into mush, and you're gonna revert back to your old ways. So you have to find new ways of telling yourself new perspectives, like slightly new perspectives. Like, okay, no, it looks like this. So you get a full picture, and then you can get to a point where you're like, oh, I am actually aware. I'm more in touch with this shit, and it's not as difficult to lose track of my state of mind. Here's another thing that I thought of that's kind of other. It's somewhat similar, that I had terrible mental health issues. Okay, there's no if what's the word? There's no whatever about it. There's something about it. There's ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know. It was terrible. Okay, like that's one thing I can be certain about. So, and as such, I'm kind of a sensitive person, and so people can easily exploit you without even really intending to, because the world itself might be cruel. That doesn't mean people individually are intentionally cruel, but the world at large, if you just like don't know what you're getting into, that can be cruel. So if you're sensitive and you've like, I feel like I've been through shit, and that I feel like it kind of should be apparent because it's work that I had to do. I should have, easier. I should have an easier time now. Not how. That's not how it is. I mean, in terms of like dating and shit. Like I don't. It's not like, oh, you get a free pass here a little bit. Nope. Still gotta work. But it's, it is what it is. But I don't want to say that like life is not good, but definitely it's supposed to be hard in some ways. And I think that's something that this generation just kind of misses. Some of it. Some of the people on the internet, a lot of the people, they just kind of the way they complain about shit, the way they're just like, oh, it's not easy for yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not easy. It's never been easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You're damn right it's not easy. Doesn't mean give up. Like I've heard people just like give up, and it's like, what the fuck is your problem? But that's negative. Well, that's not negative. It is negative, but it's like what they need is love. They need the opposite of like fuck you. Maybe they need fuck you. I don't know. Some of them, but I feel like a lot of people, they need like affection and understanding and listening. But I can only do so much, as a one person. So my reaction to some of that is just like, this is my reaction. Like, you're ridiculous for giving up. Even though I may have had some privileges that they don't have. It's like, what more can I do than to be honest? I'm good. I'm good. Sticker, just a sticker. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. There were some closing remarks that I wanted to say, but I don't remember them either. So we'll just sit here for a minute, as usual. I don't know if there's any. I feel like I maybe said what I needed to say, so, and it's getting kind of long anyway. So I can't think of a song to sing right now. So that's new anyway. Bye for now. I'm smiling, even though I don't exactly feel like smiling. Just so you know, okay?